Hey you guys, I'm Lisa from theScore eSports, and I'm here with NRG CEO Andrew Pruett. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So what was it that really made you want to step into this space? Like, what was the main motivation for you?
You know, when I'm a sports fan, and I believe that these athletes that we have behind us here now in this world, that it's such an exciting space of what they're doing and how it's so different. So that was attractive to me. Growing something and building something from the ground up like this was a tremendous opportunity and business opportunity. I also look at every business decision, you know, I want there to be residual effect for me as a father and what I see my own child into and what I see my friends' children into and my nephews and my nieces and what they're doing. So in the same way in my past career where I was at Disney working for, you know, the world's largest and best family and entertainment brand, then going to Apple, which was state-of-the-art, best tech brand and, you know, one of the best companies in the world, now going and being a part of growing a brand that I believe has the capability and will be the best esports brand that's out there. That was beyond attractive and something I couldn't not look at.
So you were with NRG their first season. Like, NRG is a new team, so you got to, you know, help build it from the ground up, like you said. So what was your experience like first season with the team? Was there anything about working in esports that maybe surprised you and you weren't expecting?
Yeah, everything's been kind of surprising. It was fascinating to walk in and see, like, wow, these guys are in houses. These guys are they have a cook. There's analysts in the house. There's so many things going around. There's rules with they're a part of leagues. There's multiple games going on. There's all this stuff. So we've been going 1,000,000 miles an hour, 7 days a week for the past, I mean, them longer than me, some of the other guys, but you know, the opportunity to work alongside the great people that are a part was super attractive, and everything's kind of taken me by surprise, but in a wonderful way. That's been great to just jump in. We learned a lot in the spring split.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to learn about what it takes. It's not just about the talent involved with the game. There's so many things that go into a really great team functioning and developing into something, a well-oiled machine that really works. From the culture of the house, the atmosphere around how the guys are gelling with one another, how their mental health is, how their physical health is. I believe in a family dynamic and a really great positive culture and atmosphere. It was important to me to establish some of the foundational pillars when we came in for these guys, because they're all respectable guys that, you know, it's a lot of them, it's their first time away from home. You know, I want it to feel like a home. I want their house to be beautiful. I want them to eat the best food, and I want them to wake up excited about the people that they're around, their teammates, their staff, and the management behind the scenes. You know, I want to create a very trustworthy atmosphere that they wake up feeling great about. They work hard all day knowing that we're working hard as well in the background, and that they're going to sleep feeling great about being a part of NRG.
Why do you think that is so important, having this culture, having this kind of environment for these players?
Well, in all the positive stuff, why do I think it's so important?
Yeah.
Just because I think that it sets the tone. I think that the people that you're around, you know, as anything in life, the people that you're around, you know, kind of make or break the outcome. And it's funny, when I was raised, you know, I'm from Oklahoma, and I was raised with the mentality that, you know, birds of a feather flock together, and a pool reflects the character of a person and the face of a person. And I think that when you get really great people together that trust each other, I'm not saying it's not going to kick your butt and it won't be hard. It will be. It is. It's hard. But when you have a group of people like we think that we've done here that want to work together and want to build something together, we think that the outcome is inevitably going to be positive and constructive, and we'll all learn together. We'll build something great together.
NRG is in their second season as an organization, coming from first season, what's something maybe you've learned from that first season?
Going into the second season, we learned a lot. I think the theme that keeps coming back in this conversation is culture, and I think that we were new. I wasn't even a part of the organization, but you can come in and you can kind of take a look at, hey, that looks like it's working, and that piece doesn't look like it's working very well, and let's fix these things. Let's make some tweaks. And some of them you're able to fix quickly, and others take a while to fix. And you got to kind of circle it and look at and punch holes in and come up with a plan and say, no, that plan's terrible. That's not going to work. This is a better plan. So I think that ultimately what we've been learning is take care of your players, provide them a great culture and a place that they want to work hard at. And my philosophy is that an old buddy of mine and former manager taught me, believe that you work for people, not the other way around.
Now, NRG in its second season how has it grown or changed? It seems like the organization is getting bigger and there's some changes. So how has NRG grown the last season?
Yeah, NRG's grown. I would say it's matured in the way that we are looking at everything and in the way that we are building our business. We've got some fantastic investors and partners behind us that, like Shaquille O'Neal and Alex Rodriguez and Jimmy Rollins. These guys have succeeded not just in the athletic way, but in their lives from how they've been involved in business. And they're really passionate about what they do. When you look at Alex and when you look at Shaquille and how they were athletes at a very young age, and they understand that these are athletes. These aren't gamers per se. These are athletes. They're working really hard and they're young and they are best in class from around the world. And we think that what we've done between the first split when we were getting everything going and the acquisition of an old team to then starting a new branding, which will continue to evolve, and then moving into this one, we've put together really talented group of guys that also we believe that the fans want to get behind, and that we are going to, all of our guys, they love to stream and they love to connect with their fans that are watching them. And where, I idolize, some of my Oklahoma City Thunder boys and stuff, but I can't interact with them.
Yeah.
And I come into the house, I spend a lot of time here, and I walk in and I see how fans are interacting with, their heroes. And they're doing it back. And it's so great to see. It's so cool to see.
You mentioned before with the tie to traditional sports, how you are an Thunder fan, and you can never interact with the athletes. But with esports, it's kind of different. So what sort of similarities and differences do you see between traditional sports and esports?
Well, similarities, I would say in the way that you've got the athleticism. To me, what I've seen is not just they have their schedule and they have their scrims, but when you take that into like a real schedule where they're doing workouts and where we are helping facilitate behavioral health, and we're looking at nutrition and all these different things. We have our players that care about how they're eating. This obviously may not be the world where you have buffed out athletes, that are in the gym 18 hours a day or whatever, but the mental health component is so important, and the agility component and getting rest. No gamer is going to want to hear from someone like me who's very traditional, like, hey, be sure and get your sleep and don't go to bed at 2 a.m. and don't stay up until 4 a.m. and then expect that you're going to be able to perform the next day. But I really care about taking care of these guys, their minds, their mental health, their bodies, and I think that they are learning that. They do realize that, but it's in a different league now. It's not like they're at home anymore. where they can do that. They're competing now for a big rewarding career.
You see how esports is growing and it's continuing to grow. Do you think, as a sports fan and obviously working alongside many athletes, do you think esports can grow as big as traditional sports?
Absolutely, hands down. I think that the numbers are doing nothing but already tracking past that, and we aren't talking about a long way out. We're talking about sooner rather than later.
Where do you see the growth?
Oh, I don't know without pulling out my Jupiter numbers or Forrester research numbers or anything like that. But I'm having lots of talks with a lot of partners about audience growth and viewership. And when you look at traditional sports and how many people just from a viewership perspective are watching games on a weekend or on a weeknight, and then you look at how many people are watching for a lot longer and interacting and donating to the streams. And I look at one of our players, Santorin, who was streaming 9 hours yesterday, and the amount of people that are watching at any given time, it's incredible. And when you look at the tournament plays on the weekends with League, when you look at CSGO, these guys are playing constantly. They take it really seriously, they work really hard, and they're all super committed to getting better and better and better. So
now I have to ask you, have you tried playing League at all? How do you enjoy the game?
I think it's fascinating. It's a lot to wrap my head around. Being double the age of some of them, it's a lot. I've played a lot of console games,
yes.
And I grew up playing tennis and golf and basketball, and then to get into something like this is, this makes chess look easy. It's so I'm still getting a massive education on what it looks like. I don't know where I would rank myself, somewhere notches below novice.
Bronze, and then you.
Really low down there. But I love what's really cool that I've learned about esports guys, athletes, is that they love to teach. They love to teach.
Yeah.
I look at my almost 8-year-old son who will sit down with someone from our staff or any one of our players, and they love to just get in there with him and go, no, pick this champion. No, you should ban this guy. You should go with this. This is where the minions are going to, all of the language and stuff, how they work with people that don't really know it yet or are just beginning to get turned on to it is super cool. Super cool.
It's cute how you bring up your son who's interested, who's watching the game and he's learning, he's probably exposed to it because you're involved with it.
Yeah.
So what's his perception of it, and if he were to want to play, what would you say to him?
I would say the education that I've learned these past couple months, before then, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. I probably would have said no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now, I look at these guys that play it, and they're all upstanding, really good character guys that I like being around. And I look at how they act towards him, and I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to say that probably had I not been involved with it. And I've talked to some of the mothers and fathers of some of our players who have said, I didn't quite know what it was all about until they got really serious into it, and then they started getting recruited and almost kind of drafted, and then I had to pay attention to it. And I'm glad that I'm ahead of that perspective, because I can see it firsthand. And now that I've been around it, I fully support it and think it's wonderful.
Andrew, thank you so much for this interview. It was amazing.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you to all
and you
of the
guys,
score.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to check out the rest of our stuff on our channel.